The examination hall stretched across 3 levels of the Galactic Academy's central spire, filled with students from 47 different species. Aaliyah sat in the human section, her fingers drumming nervously against the cool metal desk. Beside her, Braden stared at the blank holographic display with his usual quiet demeanor, seemingly unbothered by the chaos of rustling wings, clicking mandibles, and anxious chittering that filled the air. "Attention, examinees!" The proctor's voice boomed through the translation implants. The Vraxian stood at the podium, her crystalline form refracting the overhead lights into rainbow patterns. "Today's assessment will determine your survival aptitude ratings. You will face scenarios from classified Deathworld environments. Your responses will be monitored and graded. Begin." Aaliyah's display flickered to life, showing a lush jungle environment with humidity readings that would kill most species in the room. She glanced at Braden, who had already started reading his scenario with that same calm expression he always wore in class. The quiet one who never raised his hand, never caused trouble, never stood out. The first scenario was simple: navigate through toxic flora to reach a water source. Aaliyah worked through it methodically, selecting protective gear and careful routes. Around the room, she heard the confident chatter of the Kaltorians, an apex predator species who dominated most physical assessments. "Level 1 complete," the proctor announced. 73% pass rate, proceeding to level 2. The next scenario materialized: a tundra environment, temperature negative 40 degrees, with incoming predators detected on scanners. Aaliyah's heart raced as she plotted escape routes and shelter construction. The Kaltorians were still talking, their translator implants broadcasting their confidence. A soft chime indicated Braden had finished. Aaliyah blinked. He was the first one done, sitting quietly with his hands folded, waiting. Level 2 complete. 41% pass rate. Murmurs spread through the hall. The difficulty was ramping up faster than previous years. Level 3 dropped them into an ocean scenario, crushing depths, acidic water, bioluminescent predators circling. Aaliyah struggled with the oxygen calculations, her fingers flying across the interface. She noticed several Kaltorians conferring nervously now, their earlier bravado fading. Another chime. Braden, again. The proctor's crystalline eyes fixed on the human section with obvious interest. Level 4, desert wasteland, radiation storms, no visible water, temperature extremes cycling every 6 hours. Aaliyah gritted her teeth, working through the survival calculus. Around her, students were beginning to fail, their displays going dark as the scenarios exceeded their species' tolerance parameters. Braden finished before she was halfway through. By level 5, the examination hall had grown quiet. Half the stations were dark. The scenario was brutal, a volcanic region with toxic gas vents, unstable ground, and territorial pack hunters. Aaliyah barely managed to complete it, her hands shaking as she submitted her final answer. She looked over at Braden. He wasn't just done. He was sketching something on a personal data pad, apparently bored. Level 5 complete. 11% pass rate. The proctor's voice held a note of concern. Level 6 is... I must remind students that withdrawal is permitted without penalty. A third of the remaining students immediately withdrew. The scenario that appeared made Aaliyah's stomach drop. A combination environment. Jungle, tundra, ocean, desert, and volcanic regions in rapid succession, with compounding injuries, depleting resources, and evolving threats. It wasn't just survival. It was sustained survival under continuously deteriorating conditions. She heard one of the Kaltorians slam his desk. "This is impossible. No planet has these conditions simultaneously." But Aaliyah stared at the scenario, and something clicked. The gravity reading, the atmospheric composition, the day-night cycle, the predator-to-prey ratios. This wasn't just any death world. This was Earth. She glanced at Braden, who had already finished, of course he had, and was now watching the other students with quiet attention. For the first time, she noticed the small smile on his face. Aaliyah dove into the scenario with renewed understanding. She knew this world. She'd lived it. The toxic flora? Earth had those. The temperature extremes? Earth had worse. The predators? Earth had taught humanity to become the apex. She completed level 6. When she looked up, only 7 stations remained active. 5 humans and 2 Kryn, an insectoid species evolved in harsh conditions. Level 6 complete. 2% pass rate. The proctor descended from her podium, approaching the human section directly. Level 7 will commence in... Respectfully. Proctor, Braden spoke for the first time all day, his voice calm and clear. May I ask what classification of Deathworld we're being tested on? The Vraxian's crystalline form seemed to pulse. Class 12 Deathworld. The highest known classification. There are only 3 such worlds in the Galactic Council's database. And which one specifically? The proctor hesitated, then displayed the planetary data. Catalog designation Sol 3. Common name, Earth. The room erupted in shocked clicks, gasps, and whistles from the remaining non-human students. The 2 Kryn immediately withdrew. Aaliyah felt a surge of pride as understanding rippled through the hall. The quiet humans, always underestimated, always overlooked. They'd been playing on their home turf all along. Braden stood addressing the proctor. Then level 7 should be interesting. In my hometown, we called conditions like these Tuesday. Level 7 began. One by one, the other humans completed it, supporting each other with whispered strategies and shared knowledge. Braden finished first, naturally, but waited patiently as Aaliyah and the others worked through scenarios that would have killed 99% of galactic species. When the last human finished, the proctor stood in stunned silence. 100% pass rate, she finally announced. From the human candidates, this is unprecedented. As they filed out of the examination hall, the other species gave the humans a wide berth, looking at them with new eyes. Aaliyah walked beside Braden, who had returned to his quiet demeanor. You knew from the beginning, didn't you? She asked. He shrugged. The gravity felt like home. Everything else was just familiar. Why didn't you say anything? Braden smiled that small smile again. Sometimes it's better to be underestimated. Besides, I figured my classmates would figure it out eventually. Humans always do. As they exited into the concourse, Aaliyah noticed the way other students parted around them, the whispers following in their wake. The quiet ones from Earth had just reminded the galaxy of an important lesson. On a death world, you didn't need to be the loudest to be the most dangerous. You just needed to survive.